me being a psychotherapist and all that, I'm trained in transactional analysis. I know that you've been in therapy. Would you mind talking a little bit about how that experience was for you? Because I still think there's a stigma around people going to therapy. Would you agree or not?
So for me, it was a very positive experience.
Good.
But of course, it also unearthed some emotional baggage, trauma. Actually, probably trauma's too extreme a word for me. Definitely, it got me in touch with the meanings I'd made around life and relationships when I was young, which didn't necessarily serve me or created voids in my life as I'm older, and started to help me track back and understand why I behave like I behave and who I am and what I need. For me, I really just did it as a split test. So I think if I were just to pick up on your language slightly, Jackie, and be helpful to you for your mission, you said when I was in therapy, and definitely those words, in therapy, sound like I'm down, Betty Ford or whatever the famous, drugs clinic is. Whereas if you said, I am engaging or employing a therapist, in therapy sounds, like I went there because I'm fucked. And I did go there because there were challenges in my life that were converging. And I'd also done a lot of personal development, and I'd learned a lot about myself. And I got mentors and coaches. So I thought, well, the only thing I've not really tried, I mean, I'm not personally into, Reiki or tapping or any more, what I might deem as more esoteric treatment. Not against, by the way, just never really desired to go down that road. So for me, I guess seeing a therapist was in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was, I actually messaged my therapist yesterday and said, look, you fancy a few more sessions, and it'd be like series 2 on the Netflix. Honestly, being my therapist is a lot of fun. There's a lot of shit to come out. So for me, it was a positive experience. Like if I want a mentor or if I want solutions, I'll get a mentor.
Yeah.
At times I was looking for maybe some solutions from my therapist. That's not what we do. But, if you think about an hour conversation, normally it's I share a bit, you share a bit, I share a bit, you share a bit. You can never get really deep. And also, the deeper you get, maybe you don't feel that comfortable with being that vulnerable or sharing that level of depth to someone you know.
Yeah.
So just for being able to express everything, not get interrupted, and to go to places where you wouldn't normally communicate, then for me that was useful. And it took my personal development knowledge of myself to another level. I did it sometimes felt like I was being dragged too much into the young Rob, the child Rob, love the child Rob. My therapist kept sort of trying to take me back to that place, and at times I resisted that, and maybe that's because it was painful, or maybe that was because I'm looking for results and forward momentum.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend everyone try one. Because how do you know unless you've tried? And you don't have to be fucked to go to one. You can just want to improve certain areas of your life. Or why are there patterns that you are repeating? So I think self-awareness is understanding what you create and being responsible for everything that you create. So if you're recurring things in your life that you don't like, you are the common denominator. You are the creator of that thing that recurs. So examining why that recurs and figuring out, A, I don't like that about myself. I maybe look at wanting to change. B, I accept that about me and I learn to handle it. Or C, other. Yeah. And where's the harm in that? I don't see the harm in that at all. And there's a bit of a stigma in the UK, I think. Not so much in America. It's almost like a brag. I'm going to see my therapist. Everyone's got a therapist. It's almost like a brag in America. And probably a bit more of a stigma up north, I would say, just because of maybe a slightly harder culture.